Hello everyone, welcome to virtual platform of Udainath Autonomous College of Science and Technology, Adaspur. This is another session of community health and social work. In our previous video lectures, we had discussed about different viral diseases, different bacterial infected diseases, and recently we had discussed about in our previous video lecture what is plague or discussed about the plague disease, and in this lecture we had discussed about what is plague, how the plague spread from one person to another person in community, what are the different types of plague like bubonic plague, septicemic plague and pneumonic plague, and also discussed about what are the causes of plague disease and what are the signs and symptoms in different types of plague. And now in this lecture we will discuss about some other parts of plague disease, like we had discussed about what are the risk factors, how we can diagnose the plague disease, what are the treatments available for plague disease, and how we can prevent the plague disease, and let's discuss on that. This is contents of this video lecture, like we will discuss about risk factors, complications, how the plague is diagnosed, treatment for plague, and how to prevent plague disease. In this lecture we will discuss on that part. First, we will discuss about risk factors of plague disease. It means what are the risk factors when a person is suffering from plague disease. The risk of developing plague is very low worldwide. Only a few thousand people develop plague each year. And next is, however, your plague's risk can be increased depending on the area where you live and travel, your job and your hobbies. And the risk factors of plague disease is a different type and a different category, and the risk factors always depends upon where you live, where you travel, what is your job place and what is your hobbies, and always the infection of plague disease depends upon these factors. And some risk factors or some area of risk factors are location. First is location. Plague outbreaks are most common in rural and semi-rural areas that are overcrowded, have poor sanitation and have a high rodent population. The greatest number of human plague infections occur in Africa, especially the African island. That is the most important risk factor is location, because the infection of plague disease always depends upon the location. Mainly in rural and semi-rural areas, there is the infection of more cases in plague disease is very high risk, because in rural and semi-rural areas, the people are suffering from plague infection because these areas are very overcrowded, and these areas there is very rodents like mice, rats, the animals are infected plague bacteria, and from these animals the human beings are infected of the plague bacteria also. And in rural and semi-rural areas there is more higher risk of plague infection, and mainly in Africa and Africa island there is the more persons or more people are suffering from plague infection due to overcrowded of that area. And in rural and semi-rural areas also there is sanitation problem, because in rural and semi-rural areas the people are not aware about the sanitation, the hygienic environment. They are maintaining very poor condition of environment, and they are maintaining very poor hygienic environment. Because of that the people are suffering from different infected diseases, and also there is a major infection is bacterial infection, and due to different cause, due to different way of spread of plague infection, the people are suffering from plague disease in rural and semi-rural areas, mainly due to poor hygienic condition or due to poor sanitation. This is also another risk factor in plague disease. In the United States, plague is rare, but it has been known to occur in several western and southwestern states. In United States mainly, plague disease is very rare due to lack of overcrowd and due to better sanitation condition. And next risk factor is job, means what is your job place. Veterinarians and their assistants have a higher risk of coming into contact with domestic cats and dogs that may have become infected with plague. People who work outdoors in areas where plague infected animals are common are also at higher risk of getting plague. Mainly the veterinarians, doctors and also their assistants have higher risk of plague infection because they have direct contact with the domestic cats and domestic animals and domestic dogs. People who work outdoors or people who work with the animals, mainly the veterinarians, doctors, they have the issue of spread of plague disease due to direct contact with the infected animals, and they have contact with this type of animals, and at that time they have the higher risk of the plague infection. So they have to maintain a hygienic environment, maintain a sanitized environment for prevent or for prohibit or avoid the risk of the infection of plague. And when they are not maintaining these conditions, they are facing the plague infection. Next risk factor is hobbies, which depends upon our hobby or what are the hobbies of a person and which has relation with the plague infection. Camping, hunting or hiking in areas where plague infected animals reside can increase your risk of being bitten by an infected flea. And if you have camping or hunting or hiking any area and where the area is the high risk of the plague infection and there is the plague infected animals reside in these areas and which can increase the high risk of infected by the flea and which causes the plague infection. And next is complication, or what are the complications in plague disease, because there is different types of plague disease and there is different complications in different type of plague. And what are the complications actually? Complications of plague may include death. Most people who receive prompt antibiotic treatment survive bubonic plague. Untreated plague has a high fatality rate. It can cause death, and most of people who receive or who are suffering from death and who are facing death issues when they have the lack of treatment. If a person is suffering from plague disease, then that person have to cure or have to prevent that disease from the primary stage or from the first stage of that disease. And when a person is not getting the proper treatment at the right time, then that person is suffering from death because of untreated activities or because of avoiding of the proper treatment. Next is gangrene. Blood clots in the tiny blood vessels of your fingers and toes can disrupt blood flow and cause that tissue to die. The portions of your fingers and toes that have died may need to be removed or amputated. Sometimes due to blood clots in the tiny blood vessels and in your fingers and toes, sometimes due to disrupt blood flow, it can cause the tissue to die, and sometimes there is need of the fingers and toes that the tissues are died, and at that time there is need of removed or amputated of that finger or toes. And the next is meningitis. Rarely, plague may cause inflammation of the membranes surrounding your brain and spinal cord or meningitis. Sometimes plague may cause the inflammation, means there is complex situation or dangerous situation in surrounding your brain and spinal cord due to plague disease. There is complications in joint pain, there is complications in brain, and there is complications in spinal cord injury also due to plague infection. Next we will discuss how the plague is diagnosed or how we can diagnose the plague disease. What are the ways for diagnosing of plague? If your doctor suspects you may have plague, they will check for the presence of the bacteria in your body. If the doctor suspects you may have plague bacterial infection and your body has a plague infection problem, then how they can check or what are the ways through which the doctor can diagnose? A blood test can reveal if you have septicemic plague. There is need of blood test if the person is suffering from septicemic plague. To check for bubonic plague, your doctor will use a needle to take a sample of the fluid in your swollen lymph nodes. And if the person is suffering from bubonic plague, if the doctor suspected the person has bubonic plague, then the doctor will use mainly a needle, and through which it can take a sample of the fluid from your swollen lymph nodes, through which the doctor can diagnose the plague type is bubonic plague or other type. Next is to check for pneumonic plague, fluid will be extracted from your airways by a tube that is inserted down your nose or mouth and down your throat. This is called a bronchoscopy. Through bronchoscopy test, the doctor can diagnose or the doctor can suspect the person is suffering from pneumonic plague. These are the ways through which the doctor can diagnose the patient is coming under which type of plague infection, and the samples will be sent to a laboratory for analysis. Preliminary results may be ready in just 2 hours, but confirmatory testing takes 24 to 48 hours. When a doctor is diagnosing the person is suffering from which type of plague, and if the person is taking the sample fluid, or if the person is taking any type of test, then the sample will be sent to the laboratory where the sample will be tested for which type of plague infection is in the person's health, and a person will be know the preliminary result in between the 2 hours, and but the confirmation testing report is coming after 24 to 48 hours. In between 24 to 48 hours, the person can get the report of the infection. Often, if the plague is suspected, your doctor will begin treatment with antibiotics before the diagnosis is confirmed. This is because the plague progresses rapidly, and being treated early can make a big difference in your recovery. If the person is suspected, the person is suffering from plague disease, and the doctor will begin treatment with different antibiotics before the diagnosis is confirmed. When the doctor is thinking that the person is suffering from any type of plague disease, and at that time the doctor will prescribe antibiotics or medicines for that person, and when the report is confirmed the person is suffering from plague disease, and at that time the treatment progress rapidly, and the doctor can treat it at that time of the person, because from the primary stage we can eradicate or we can cure the person's disease, and which can make a big difference in your recovery, because when we are getting proper treatment from the primary stage, we can recover very fast rather than the lack of treatment or rather than the improper treatment. And next is treatment for the plague. It means what are the treatments available for plague disease, or how we can treat if the person is suffering from plague disease. The plague is a life-threatening condition that requires urgent care, and if caught and treated early, it's a treatable disease using antibiotics that are commonly available. In market, there is the antibiotics are available which is prescribed by the doctor for a plague patient, because plague is a life-threatening condition and it requires urgent care and urgent treatment if the person is suffering from plague disease, and there is need of antibiotics for that person, and which are commonly available in the market. With no treatment, bubonic plague can multiply in the bloodstream and it causing septicemic plague, or in the lungs causing pneumonic plague. If the person is not getting treatment at the right time and the person is suffering from the primary stage or bubonic plague, it can multiply in the bloodstream and which can cause the septicemic plague in the person's health. And When the bubonic plague can multiply and it infected the lungs of a person, it can cause pneumonic plague. And which stages are very dangerous or which stages are very life-threatening conditions in this person's life. And next is death can occur within 24 hours after the appearance of the first symptom. When a person is suffering from plague disease and when a person is suspected the person is suffering from plague disease and there is symptoms of the plague disease in a person's health and the person is not getting the proper treatment within 24 hours after the appearance of the first symptom, death can occur if the person has any other issues or any other health problems. Treatment usually involves strong and effective antibiotics such as gentamicin or ciprofloxacin, intravenous fluids, oxygen and sometimes breathing support. And in treatment there is involving strong and effective antibiotics like ciprofloxacin, gentamicin, and there is some intravenous fluids also, and there is need of oxygen and due to support at the time of breathing problem, because sometimes some persons have breathing problem or some persons have too fast breathing, some persons have slow breathing if the person is suffering from plague disease, and at that time there is need of oxygen for that person. And people with pneumonic plague must be isolated from other patients. If the person is suffering from pneumonic plague, that person should be or must be isolated from other patients or other patients those who have bubonic plague or septicemic plague. And next is medical personnel and caregivers must take strict precautions to avoid getting or spreading plague. When a person is working in medical or in any clinics and they are the medical personnel or caregivers, those who are providing care and support to the plague patients, they have to take strict precautions and they have to take strict treatment or avoiding or getting spreading of plague, and they have to stay isolated from other persons also when they have contact with the plague patients, and they have to maintain proper conditions or proper systems if they have contact with the plague patients. And if they are treating any plague patients, they have to use mask, they have to use gloves at that time, and through which they can avoid the spreading of plague. And the treatment is continued for several weeks after fever resolves, and the treatment is also continued for several weeks if a person has fever resolves also, and if the person is feeling better at that time, after few weeks also they have to getting the treatment or they have to afford the medicines and they have to take the precautions for avoiding the plague from the root or from the person's health condition, and through which the person can avoid the plague infection in any other stage also. And if the person is not getting proper treatment or if the person is avoiding medications and other treatment, if the person is feeling better, then the infection back to the person's life, so that the person has to take medications and take other precautions for after the fever resolves also. Anyone who has come into contact with people with pneumonic plague should also be monitored, and they are usually given antibiotics as a preventive measures. If anyone have direct contact with a patient who is suffering from pneumonic plague, and at that time the person has to monitor and the person has to blood test and other tests if the person is infected or not, and the person has to maintain isolation and has to stay isolated from other persons before monitoring of that person's health, and the person has to take preventions and take different antibiotics and precautions if the person has direct contact with a patient who is suffering from pneumonic plague. Next we will discuss on how to prevent plague or how we can prevent the plague infection. Keeping the rodent population under control in your home, workplace and recreation areas can greatly reduce your risk of getting the bacteria that causes plague. And always maintain the workplace and your home and recreation areas very sanitized and very hygienic, and also the maintenance of rodent population and under control, and through which we can avoid or we can reduce the risk of getting the bacterial infection and which causes the plague disease. Keep your home free from stocks of cluttered firewood or piles of rock, brush or other debris that could attract rodents, and always keep your home free from other firewood or piles of rock and any other furnitures or other things which can attract the rodents, and protect your pets from fleas using flea control products. Pets that roam freely outdoors may be more likely to come into contact with plague infected fleas or animals. And always protect your pets or other fleas, and always flea control products, and we have to use the flea control products if in your home there is pets and pets that roam freely outdoors. We have to use the flea control products, and more likely to come into contact with plague infected fleas or animals. At that time, if you are using the flea control product, then we can avoid the contact with the infected fleas or animals. And next is if you live in an area where the plague is known to occur, the CDC recommends not allowing pets that roam freely outside to sleep in your bed. If your pet becomes sick, seek care from a veterinarian right away. If you have pet or if you have pet dog or cats in your home, then you have to maintain the hygienic condition of that pets, and if the pets are roam freely outside and they are sleeping in your bed, then you have to avoid that practices. And if your pet becomes sick, then immediately contact with the veterinarian doctor, and through which you can avoid the plague infection. Next is use insect repellent products or natural insect repellents like oil of lemon, eucalyptus, frosted source when spending time outdoors. If you are spending time in outdoor of your home, then you can use the insect repellent product through which you can avoid the infected animals through which we can getting infection through the plague infection. And next is if you have been exposed to fleas during a plague outbreak, visit your doctor immediately so your concerns can be addressed quickly. And if you have been exposed with any fleas and you are suspecting the plague infection, then visit your doctor immediately and get a treatment immediately or quickly through which you can avoid the plague infection. And last one is there is currently no commercially available vaccine against plague in the United States. In the United States, there is no availability if in commercially and in free of cost the vaccination for avoiding the infection of plague disease. This is all about today's class. And in this class, we had discussed about what are the complications in plague disease, what are the risk factors in plague disease, and how we can diagnose the plague disease, or what are the treatments of plague disease, and how we can prevent the plague infection also, and which will help you to know about the plague disease in detail. And keep watching. Thank you. If you have any doubt, then you can ask me through comment box.